Oh dang, what's up with it, y'all? Yeah, I popped out on the late night to come and do this video. I wasn't tired, so I said, let me just go and do a live. You feel me? Like how everybody doing? Yeah, I don't know if you guys was seeing this, but this is what I ran across, and I'm like going, what is going on with Oprah, man? Like like why she had to even say this about Whitney? You know, we know Whitney been going through some things. Whitney, but Whitney isn't here anymore. It's like how you gonna say something about Whitney falling and then say, "Oh, I told everybody not to say nothing." What's up with it, Awoken? Well, I told everybody to erase their cameras and everything like of that nature, so it wouldn't get out. But yet you brought it up and you said it. I said, man, but we about to get into this video, so let y'all see what I'm talking about. This is true life stories here. Just doing what we do. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get my thumbnails up and out the way, which I got to do for some reason. It don't just throw the thumbnails in there, so I got to get them up and out the way. But yeah, I was checking this out, and it's a lot of different people: Ricky Smiley, Monique, and other ones that had something to say about this whole ordeal. And I think Monique been on Whitney Houston top for a minute, which is crazy because I think Monique be kind of still giving her leeway because she got love for her because it's Whitney Houston, but at the same time I think Monique don't just be kind of going at her fully like she should. I don't know. So it's just probably because she'll get blackballed or something. Who knows? But let's go on and start this.
Ending the late singer today, it comes after Oprah Winfrey said during a public appearance that Whitney once showed up to perform on her show and fell off the stage because she was on drugs. As Jim Murray reports, Whitney's family says that's not what happened.
There's strong reaction today over Oprah's jaw-dropping news about Whitney Houston.
I think it was her last show with us, and she had gone back on drugs.
I didn't know my own strength. Oprah reveals that during a famous 2009 appearance on her talk show, Whitney fell off the stage, apparently because she was on drugs.
The first interview I did with her when we gone behind stage and I asked her about her intention, she was clean. But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not, and she fell off of the stage.
Oprah says she begged her audience not to leak what she says happened.
I knew that if that story got out that she'd fallen off of the stage, that she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out because it would ruin her life, and they did not.
For all these years, the fall has remained a secret until now, when Oprah dropped the bombshell at a conference in France. Now the executor of Whitney's estate, her sister-in-law, Pat Houston, is coming to her defense. Whitney absolutely fell off the stage, but it was during a sound check, and it was due to the darkness of the area and her unfamiliarity with the stage. She was absolutely not high. She goes on to say, like many people, she faced personal battles, but it is inaccurate and unfair to attach that struggle to every performance. The incident Oprah revealed happened nearly 2.5 years before Whitney's tragic death here at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, where she died of an accidental drowning and her body was found submerged in her hotel room bathtub. Charlemagne the God, host of The Breakfast Club, is taking issue with Oprah.
If you were telling a story about how you were protecting somebody and told people not to put this out because you didn't want to, what did she say, ruin her legacy or something like that?
Yes, ruin her legacy.
Contribute to our
Then
brand.
you should never tell that story.
But others on social media say it was time to let the story out. Oprah is a journalist, not a publicist, and she had no obligation to hold that story, and she looked out for Whitney at the time, goes this comment.
Now I know my...
Nah, that don't make sense. I don't care what you is. You feel, read the room. Yeah, it's rules to things, and she's not here to defend herself. So just to say that is like, You guys like you looking. I don't know what you're looking for.
It's a secret conversation you have had on the side with somebody in the industry that you have never told, but it will make an impact on the industry. It would shake a table.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good question.
Baby, if I tell you who I had the secret conversation with, it's gonna shake the table.
You asked me. You asked me what I want. I would love to know.
Jesse Jackson.
Okay.
That's it.
What
Shake the table. Shake the table. Because our brother's no longer with us.
Yeah.
And it would be unfair.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta play fair. Because I will not speak of a person about any conversation, about any incidents, about anything that they cannot say yes or no to. Because when you do that, that becomes unfair to the baby. Because they don't have they can't say, well, yes, that happened or that didn't happen. But I'll just say, you know, brother Jesse Jackson. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was just brother Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, Oprah actually recently talked about Whitney Houston in an interview. Oh, that's why you said, okay, well, there's that. She said that Whitney, you know, kind of passed out and might have alluded to maybe.
Didn't Oprah fall on stage?
Wellness to me means all things in balance. And balance doesn't mean all things are equal or at peace at all times.
Hey, hold on. She said something about balance. She said something about balance. If she failed, did that mean that she was
alluded to maybe.
Didn't Oprah fall on stage?
Wellness to me means all things in balance. And balance doesn't mean all things are equal or at peace at all times.
Yeah, you lied.
Wrong shoes.
I don't know. I ain't seen it.
And we didn't see we didn't see how she tripped, nothing. She just went down. We saw that. We saw her. She was walking and bam. And everybody was like, well, she said the shoes. Okay. Well, what was wrong? So, and as we're laughing about it and making light of it, just for me, how do you speak about someone that can't defend it? That, just in my humble opinion, it takes it different. Because that woman can't say yes or no. And now you just want everybody to take your word because you're the great Oprah Winfrey. And you just take my word that that's what happened. That, I believe, is unfair. I believe that's unfair. And I still love my sister, Oprah Winfrey. Let me be clear about that. People think in correction it means you don't love. It's simply just correction. And I remember Gary Owens said one time, Gary Owens, the white comedian, he said one time, how can Monique say that she love him and then she say this? Because that's called blackness. We know how we do it in our community. And I don't care how many black women you get with or marry, you're not black, so you wouldn't understand. Me saying
these are the kind of gems that she drops.
Yeah.
Even me, I've been in here in the game 57 years, and a subject will come up, and most people don't even know that Monique even talks like this. It drops jewels. I'm sitting here mesmerized.
Me too. I really am. Zazz. Like, I mean, yeah.
But I'm not saying anything but the truth.
Right.
And we've gotten so far removed from the truth, when you hear them and you go, ooh, well, wait a minute. Why?
Yeah. It's a secret conversation you have had on the.
Wow.
What's the one question you would like to ask me that no one has asked me?
What is a secret conversation you have had on the side with somebody in the industry that you have never told, but it will make an impact on the industry?
Jesse Jackson.
Tough love is the best
Because our
love
brother's no longer
sometimes.
with us.
Yeah.
And it would be unfair. I will not speak of a person about any conversation, about any incidents, about anything that they cannot say yes or no to.
Yeah, Oprah actually recently talked about Whitney Houston in an interview. She said that Whitney, you know, kind of passed out.
I had one quick because she like, that's who I was talking. That's who I was talking about. I didn't want to, you
And
know.
balance doesn't mean all things are equal or at peace at all times.
We didn't see how she tripped, nothing. She just went down. How do you speak about someone that can't defend it? I still love my sister, Oprah Winfrey. Gary Owens said one time, Gary Owens,
See, she always still give Oprah her props
that she love him and then she say this? Because that's called blackness. We know how we do it in our community. And I don't care how many black women you get with or marry, you're not black, so you wouldn't understand.
If there's gonna be somebody that's gonna tell the truth, it's gonna be Monique. Monique brought up the situation where Oprah talked about Whitney Houston slipping and falling on her show, and she said because Whitney was on drugs. And that wasn't right of Oprah, and a lot of people felt a lot of different ways about that, because why bring it up now Whitney just died. The Clive Davis thing is going on.
Man,
what is this really going
Whitney,
on with Oprah, right? And you know Monique gonna
Bobby.
check it, and she told nothing but the truth. I'm 1,000% agreeing with Monique. Monique is one of the realest. I ain't really got too much. I ain't one of them people that got too much bad to say about Oprah or whatever, right? But she also brought up something that I'm glad she brought up because the internet chatter. She brought up Gary Owens overstepping, talking about, well, how could Monique still love these black people if she always criticizes them? We can do that because we black. And and I'm glad she pointed that out, because you have these black women that have these white partners, and these white men will overstep and get into black issues. First of all, I don't care how many black women you sleep with. That black woman will not make your hair nappier. She won't make your skin have more melanin. She won't make your nose any less pencil shaped. You understand? So I'm glad she spoke on that, because, you know, the disrespect.
Like,
the disrespect.
you wouldn't understand.
You're not
it's okay.
But Monique spoke on the Oprah thing, because Oprah, like, why would you do that? And just the timing of it with the Clive Davis, yeah, Oprah was tripping.
What's the one question?
At all times.
Oprah must have forgot about that video, because ain't no way she got on there talking about Whitney Houston was so high, that's why she fell off the stage. But my thing is, at least if Whitney was high and she fell off the stage, at least she had a reason she fell off the stage. What was your reason for falling off the stage that day? Everybody know, Whitney gone, let it be. We only talk about her great music. It ain't no reason to be bringing up all that negativity about Whitney Houston. That happened before, and that's what it was. But people just don't understand that y'all really be out here gloating and praising Oprah, but then y'all will talk down on somebody like Wendy Williams, when we all know Wendy Williams really used to come with the facts and tell the truth about everything. So with that being said, I just want to say, Oprah, you just so out of touch with your people that you don't even know, and it ain't no reason that you should be up there talking all of that shit about Whitney Houston. And she passed. She can't defend herself or nothing. And it wasn't even a question really about Whitney being high or anything like that. So y'all drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think about this.
Yeah, I think she could have. I don't know how she shouldn't even brought it up. And if you was to even say that she was high, it's like.
Oprah is receiving a lot of backlash for this one. She recently shared a never-before-heard story about Whitney Houston, revealing
it's kind of low. I'm gonna go to the next one. Yeah.
Now, when she said that, I say, damn,
Hot
Oprah
boy Turk.
It must be her turn.
Yeah.
You know, and as a black person, every time something come out of somebody's mouth and they say things to take another black person down who's a legacy artist, you know what I'm saying? I feel like your turn have came where you have to do something in the public that's either humiliating or humiliating somebody else that got status, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what Oprah did, because if that happened on your show and you told the people on your show, don't put that footage out, that means you cared enough about about Whitney Houston when she was alive. Why wait till she died years later and bring that shit up if you told other people don't put it out? What was the reason for you telling other people don't put it out then? Now, when she said that, I say, damn, Oprah must.
Thing is, why are y'all all acting confused when Toni Braxton been told y'all that Oprah Winfrey was a mean girl? Let's chat. All of the things that Oprah could have went to France and talked about. I don't know, Oprah, we could have talked about what happened to the
she
girls
was
with
in
the schools
France.
We could have talked about why is your name mentioned in the Epstein files. We could have talked about so much. Why did you have to talk about Whitney? Nevertheless, we're going back to Toni Braxton. The year is 1998. The month is March. The setting is the Oprah Winfrey Show. The topic, Toni Braxton's first bankruptcy. To be overly clear, Toni Braxton's first bankruptcy was due in part to signing a bad contract and the mismanagement of funds on her team's behalf, not overspending and buying Gucci flatware. So, boom, now that you know the facts, let's talk about what the media was doing in 1998. In 1998, the media was trying to spin it as if Toni Braxton was broke because Toni Braxton got her contract, went out and spent all her money. But we're doing a press run because we need to control the narrative, right? Okay, so she gets to the Oprah Winfrey Show, and Oprah Winfrey is like, well, do you take any accountability for the fact that you're bankrupt? And Toni Tony is like, yes, alluding to the fact that it was me. I signed the bad contract. Madam Nice Nasty herself goes,
Braxton.
oh, well, I heard you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey, and I don't have Gucci flatware.
Okay,
I
I
didn't
remember
even
this.
know
I
Gucci
remember
made
this.
flatware. Again, pushing
I
the narrative
remember
that
that.
Tony Braxton
That's-
was going bankrupt because of an overspending of
I
furniture
remember
on
that.
her behalf when that wasn't the case. Tony Braxton would later go on VH1 Behind the Music and say, and I quote,
He made me feel this big. That moment completely changed my career. It
also
made people
extremely
look down on
important
me.
to note that Tony Michelle 1L Braxton would later go on to sue the record company and be awarded $20 million US, meaning Tony was right, Oprah was wrong all along. The opportunity was so missed because Oprah, why would you not invite Tony on and then give her the space to break down how she got in this position, similar to the TLC interview where they break down how they ended up bankrupt. Hello, everybody was on the same record label. Why would you invite that black woman onto your show just to treat her like Lynn treated Maya on her talk show, Oprah? Thing is, why y'all all...
One thing about that Monique, she gonna stay on Oprah ass, but this time it's for Whitney Houston. So, in case y'all don't know, Oprah recently told a story about the time when Whitney Houston performed on her TV show. Now, she alleges that Whitney Houston fell off the stage because she was back on drugs. And she didn't want to put the story out because she felt like it was going to ruin Whitney Houston's career. And Monique was asked about this in a recent interview, and this is what she said.
Just for me,
Thanks for
how do you
subscribing.
speak
Make sure
about
y'all hit
someone
that
that
like
can't
button.
defend it? Because that woman can't say yes or no. And now you just want everybody to take your word because you're the great Oprah Winfrey. And you just take my word that that's what happened. That I believe is unfair.
And to add,
I hate to say it because I remember it was a time to where like I kind of felt like Oprah had knowledge of certain things that we didn't. Like she was like one of the great people I felt like I wanted to talk to because she had, and I'm like going, why do we even do that with these people?
on to this, Whitney Houston,
We
a
put
state
them on a
that
high
is managed by her
pedestal that they
sister-in-law,
don't even
Pat
deserve to
Houston,
be.
came out and made a statement to TMZ. And she basically said, for one, this was during rehearsal, and two, Whitney Houston fell because the stage was dark and she was unfamiliar with the set, not because she was high. You know, my thing is, it's just messed up that she just automatically assumed that Whitney Houston was on drugs. Like, how you know she didn't have a health problem? How did you know she didn't have vertigo when you stand up too fast and you end up falling? She could have been dehydrated. It could have been anything, but you just assumed, you just looked at her, she fell, and you were just like, she on drugs.
She knew the stage was dark and Whitney, because, whoa, I ain't gonna say that because it's gonna get to that, to where they gonna say that of what really happened.
But how do y'all feel about this? Do y'all feel like she was wrong for telling this story? She should just kept it to herself, or do you believe Oprah was telling the truth? Let me know down in the comments.
Say I stand with Monique for real. I stand with Monique. Everybody gonna stand with Monique.
I don't know if any of y'all heard that Oprah decided to say about Whitney Houston, the late Whitney Houston, that she was high and that she fell off the stage. And back then, people were recording, and then Oprah said, like, you know, guys, please do not record if this ever gets out, yada, yada, yada. But here it is, years later in the year 2026, you decided to let that out. Why? We didn't really need to know that. We didn't really ask for that information. At the end of the day, we all have problems. We all have a flaw that we all need to work on. Okay, let's say that did happen. Matter of fact, why would you even say that? She's not even here to even defend herself, to say that happened or did not happen. Can we not talk about the dead anymore? Especially the ones who did such an impact on everybody's life. Like, Oprah, that was not necessary.
Yeah, a lot of people would say, especially as many people that was sad when Whitney passed. That was like the saddest thing. And then Bobby, like her daughter, man, that was the craziest situation ever.
Sharing this story was the definition of being a petty bitch. I don't even have anything else to say about you because you're also a clown. Sharing this story was...
I hate to laugh, but I can't help it, man. Just be
Exactly,
straightforward
girl. And
with
now
it.
Monique has entered the chat because she was like, didn't Oprah herself fall?
Didn't Oprah fall on stage? I don't know, I ain't seen it. And we didn't see we didn't see how she tripped, nothing. She just went down. We saw that. We saw her. She was walking and they found. And everybody was like, well, she said the shoes.
Monique been on Oprah ass since Precious.
And as we're laughing about it and making light of it, just for me, how do you speak about someone that can't defend you?
Hey, look, the first comment say somebody said Whitney pushed her. What? Wow.
That just in my humble opinion, it takes it different. Because that woman can't say yes or no. And now you just want everybody to take your word because you're the great Oprah Winfrey. And you just take my word that that's what happened. That I believe is unfair.
So basically saying you want to say Whitney fell because
you said exactly what my mama said. I was telling my mama about it before I did this video because she called me and she was like, yeah, Oprah the op. You didn't know? I'm like, Mama, you 70. How you know Oprah the op? She's like, I ain't never liked Oprah. I'm like, dang.
she was rugged up. Why did you fall? Nothing was in front of you. Oh, the shoes? Y'all know I got the video of the fall.
Shoes at all times.
You should have worn some
As y'all
tennis
know,
shoes
Pat
then.
Houston called Oprah a liar and said she fell during sound check. She was unfamiliar with the stage and she tripped. That's it.
Yeah.
But anyway, nobody's happy with Oprah right now.
Yeah, and the stage was dark and she tripped over some wires. This gonna get to it to where
Monique been tried to tell y'all ass about Oprah Winfrey. Y'all was not trying to hear that shit. Y'all was not trying to hear that shit. Oh, she tripping. She doing too much. She doing that. No. Monique been trying to tell y'all ass about that motherfucker Oprah. But the thing is, when people know their worth, when people know that they deserve more, y'all, it's something about that shit that like irks y'all about people knowing their worth. Y'all don't like that. And Monique, she knows her worth. She knows she deserves to get paid more by them folks. But y'all was not trying to hear that shit.
Man,
y'all wasn't trying to hear
look,
what.
I'm gonna tell you something. Black women be paying attention to shit. Cause they start hey, years ago we heard this, you know, and when they blackball Monique, people really stopped liking Monique because of certain things they were saying. Like, you know, she's not well to work with and different things. Monique was the perfect actor. She was funny as shit, and they blackballed her. Like, but black women be on it. They remember all the shit. They be pulling up all the receipts. Was like, this was said years ago.
What the fuck Monique was saying about Oprah Winfrey. But that goddamn Oprah, her right there, she's the perfect example of somebody that she does not like being black. I'ma just straight out say it. She don't like being black. She has so much to say about black excellence and about these black icons in our culture, Whitney and Michael. But when it comes to those goddamn Epstein files, not a motherfucker, crickets. Not a motherfucking word. You ain't got nothing to say about them Epstein files and why the hell you...
What happened with Michael? This is the second person I heard say something about Oprah and Michael, and I'm like going, what the hell? Like, what did I miss? Was that in the movie or something?
Nothing about Trump. Nothing. But so much to say about Whitney and Michael. That motherfucker, that Oprah, she ain't been right. She ain't been right ever since Color Purple.
Monique stay on Oprah head. She said, how you gonna talk about Whitney falling? Didn't you fall too?
Monique. Why somebody in the crowd said, oh, whoever was recording, they was like, oh.
Oprah,
I don't know.
that's
Is
like
everybody
black
like
legends.
not surprised, or is everybody just disgusted?
Oh man, I can't play that music. I got in trouble last time.
I don't care what anybody says. To this day, a lot of y'all still owe this woman an apology. For those that are younger than young, this is Monique. She was and still is a female comedian. Very hilarious if you ask me. She was one of the queens of comedy, and between her and some more, they were like the funniest two on the set. She had the Parkers, with his Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins. She was in a Christmas movie. She was in Precious. I think she actually won an award for Precious, an Academy Award. But yeah, y'all owe this woman an apology because when she went against Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey, she was blackballed. And I always stood on her side because why is it when a strong black woman stand up for themselves, now all of a sudden she's difficult to work with and all this foolishness? But she just randomly popped in my mind because y'all know Clive Davis passed away the other day. And this is what happened. Why?
You just seen Taraji P crying about that.
All timing. First of all, this interview happened many moons ago. I'm talking 2009 when this interview happened. We're in 2026. So almost 20 years ago, this interview happened, right? What was the purpose of telling us now on the day that Clive Davis passed away? What was the purpose? This is the shit that Monique, that reminded me of Monique and when she was going against them, because this is coon-like behavior. If it is true, and Whitney begged the audience not to say anything, and nobody from the audience said anything, why the fuck would you say something right now, Oprah? We don't give a fuck, first of all, okay? Whitney has been long gone. Why do you think we give a fuck now? Mind you, Whitney died of a drug overdose, right? At the time of the interview, she says she was healing and cleaning and was no longer using drugs. Why the fuck would you tell us this, Oprah? This the shit that I be talking about. I never liked your black ass neither, okay? That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But I just don't get it. Like, what was the purpose behind this? And it goes to play what Monique was talking about. Like, you do all this shit behind the scenes and everybody, oh, Oprah. Fuck Oprah. Because there was no need to tell us this about Whitney. It wasn't. Nobody said shit when you fell across the stage, and you're lucky I couldn't get that fucking video. Was you high, bitch?
Hey, this is what I like, though, when people don't hold back, because Monique is holding back because she already was blackballed. Then, you know, she barely started getting in movies and doing her thing, but I'm just saying, it's like she got to be careful what she say because they'll go after her. And it's like they will shut her down. They will make it to where she now don't make a dollar.
Oprah, why would you bring this woman up knowing she's not here to defend herself? In 2009, on one of Oprah's talk show, Whitney Houston tumbled off the stage. While Oprah was doing an interview on somebody else's show, she revealed this information. I think she was asked about it. But the fact that Oprah didn't know for sure, and Oprah is talking like she knew for a fact that Whitney had relapsed, I felt like that was messed up. Because Whitney can't come out and say, no, that's actually not what happened. I didn't relapse. I actually just stumbled off the stage. Oprah said that after the tumble, she went out on stage to her fans and asked them not to share the video online. People feel like Oprah was being messy, and I can't disagree with them because Whitney is not here to defend herself. However, Whitney's former bodyguard spoke out, and Ray was there. Ray said that when Whitney took the tumble and he went over to her, she said, I didn't even see that. I didn't see it. And Ray also said he would have known that Whitney Houston relapsed because he was already there for all of it. So he would have known. When asked if he thinks that Oprah should apologize, he said for what? Because if you don't believe you should apologize, don't apologize to save face. Stand on what you're standing on. But in all honesty, she shouldn't have said nothing because Whitney Houston is not here to defend herself. Now you got people thinking that Whitney Houston relapsed when she probably didn't even relapse at all. And to be honest, I think if this bodyguard knew that she relapsed, he wouldn't even did this interview. But he did it because he could comfortably say that's not celebrities.
Ah, dang, I messed up. But yeah, somebody said
Oprah, follow me first.
Thanks for the jewels. I didn't know you even get jewels on here. But somebody said, has anyone noticed that Oprah only tears down black celebrities? Michael Jackson, Whitney, Prince, Monique, and more. And Monique will not be shut down. But it's crazy because, you know, Monique could say something about her, but Monique could still be like, I love her, you know, and still give respect to her. And I don't think she get that same respect from Oprah.
Oprah called her. Oprah told Monique, your oldest brother, Gerald, I don't know how to say his last name, whom Monique accused publicly of essaying her as a child, wants to come on her show. She said that the brother wanted to come on the show and publicly apologize and to teach parents how they can spot predators. Now, Monique did say, I appreciate her calling me first, but she did tell her, go ahead and do the show. Now, where Monique felt blindsided at is when the show actually aired. She started seeing commercials. She actually watched the episode and she learned that Oprah went behind her back, booked her estranged mother and father and her other brother. And this other brother was her former manager. Monique had revealed to Oprah in a private conversation that she was estranged from her mother because of greed. So Monique's family members openly discussed the abuse that Monique endured and diminished the severity of what she went through, forcing Monique to watch her trauma being debated and exploited for television ratings.
And I'm going to tell you, right, like this something even in the black community and a lot of communities that we don't talk about enough when this happens to women's or to girls. This is something that is like a lot of times the family and the other people make it seem like it's their fault. They'll downplay it and some other things. And it's like, it's just, that shit is hideous, bro. That shit is hideous. But to go behind her back and grab all the people that was basically a part of the rhetoric and what are you
Monique
doing,
said
Oprah?
that she told Oprah, had she known that her mother was going to be involved, she would have told Oprah to shut it down. Monique later told Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay that her family originally tried to pitch the story to legendary journalist Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters flatly told them no. Barbara then told Monique privately, I told your family I can't do that to you. You just won that award. Why would I do that? Now, this just made Monique even more resentful toward her family and to Oprah, who chose to run the segment anyway. So where Barbara Walters could have platformed her family and got crazy money behind it, Barbara Walters actually went to Monique and was like, yo, your family just tried to be funny. And I turned them down. That shows me that Miss Ma'am don't got no loyalty. I know this is about Whitney, but I felt so compelled to tell you guys about what happened to Monique, if you don't recall, because I just felt like Oprah was being snaky. And when she did what she did to Whitney, it reminded me of what Monique went through. But what are your thoughts? Let me know. Do you think that Oprah should have said anything at all about Whitney Houston? I honestly felt like she should have kept her thoughts to herself. Whitney Houston is one of my favorite singers of all time. There's not a song I can listen to of hers that I don't get emotional. Wow, I just got emotional. I feel like there will never be another voice like hers. She's not here to defend herself. Yes, she had an issue. People have family members that deal with this real time, and you're outing her, and she's not even here to defend herself. There are celebrities that I wish that I had went and seen in concerts. These celebrities are no longer here, and Whitney Houston is one of them. Yeah,
that's crazy. Oprah is a snake.
Now, there's two parts to Oprah Winfrey that I haven't really spoken about publicly. The other part with Oprah Winfrey is, you let me get thrown under the bus and you said nothing. The other part is you mess with my family. You mess with my mother, my father. She called me about my brother, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, everybody can change. He wanted to apologize for molesting me. She said, Monique, would it be okay that he comes on? And would you like to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat, but I don't want to get in the way of his blessing. If he's changing, I don't want to stop that. She never said my mother. She never said my father. Now, I know who my parents were because they're both gone. I know who they are. I know my mother's greed. I know my father's greed. And you did not say that you were going to have my parents, because had you said you had my mother. Now, we had a conversation, and I said to her, me and my mother are not in a good place. Now, she said some things to me about her mother and father, which I'll never repeat, because I'm thinking we're having a sister moment. Yeah. So I shared some things with her about my mother, sometime in tears, and we talking, and then you go put my mother on your show. Yeah, we got a problem.
No kids,
we have a problem.
No nothing.
And because it's Hollywood, oh, Monique, just don't say nothing. That's my mother. Yeah. And I didn't want the world to see my mother like that. So now when I'm in the Walmart, when I'm in the store, and before y'all say anything, this was Walmart years ago. Yeah. Okay, this was when they had DEI still going on. Shit. I'm in the store, and the elderly women are coming up to me saying, your mama ain't shit, baby. We here for you. That's still my mother. So now I got to look at this elderly woman and say, you got to be respectful. But she watched that woman sit there and support the man that molested me. So me and Oprah Winfrey, T.S. Madison, I thought I was talking to a sister. I did not know I was talking to an enemy. I did not know she would take my story and bring my mother on that show. I did not know she would have my drunk father on that show. And my father was getting ready to cuss Oprah Winfrey's ass out because the liquor started getting good to him. So when she said, well, when did you know he was a monster? My father said, what? At that point, my mother tapped him like, don't do that. Because he'll go off. He'll go off. Yeah, he'll go off. He'll call her names.
I received what you just said about that because and nobody knows this, but we're having sister conversation right now. The first episode we did here at the podcast was my test episode, and I did it with my mother.
Come on.
And so my mother started sharing things with me openly about her mother.
The truth.
And it got very heated in this room.
They won't pay Monique. Yeah, they
what
won't.
that let me know was it's unhealed trauma there.
Yeah.
We could talk about this, but you know what she said when we got her, and I told them in the creators room over there, back here, whatever the producers, we're going to have to scrap some of this because my mama is mad and my mother is angry, but this is some unhealed stuff that's going on with my mama. But my mama said as much stuff that went on with her mom, I don't want the world doing that to my mama.
Come on, baby.
And so because I don't want the world doing that to my mama, I don't want that stuff to air here. And I respect her for that. I told iHeart that I need to see that footage before because I don't want that whatever is going to hurt my mama or hurt our relationship, I don't want that out. So I feel you on what you just said. Like, yeah, me and her said, you and Oprah said in the conversation, y'all shared personal things with each other. And she talked about her. And you even right now saying, I'm not even going to share that shit. Because I talked to you in a sister moment.
My integrity won't let me share it. Now, there's two parts to Oprah Winfrey.
I feel like that's like period. You got to watch what you be telling people. Like when you think people be close to you because they this person or that person, and they will take your story and pass it around and pass it around. But that right there, man, Oprah, you something else.
Did Bobby know you were doing that interview?
No.
Does he know now?
No.
No. No.
But I'm sure I'll be getting a call.
Yeah. Are you worried about that call?
I ain't gonna lie. I always loved Whitney. No matter what. Like, I don't know. Everybody always loved Whitney.
Oprah, don't forget that you got secrets too, sis. Because a lot of us are still trying to figure out exactly what happened down there in South Africa. Don't think that we forgot. The fact that you sat on that stage telling all of Whitney's business as if you were spilling tea when you was really spilling piss is absolutely baffling to me. I have never been to your show, but you cannot make me believe that people were able to come inside of that studio without putting their phones away first. Because anybody that sat in that studio that particular day and had that type of information and did not think to capitalize off of it, it's hard for me to believe, especially only because you asked them. Hell nah. Now, it is very ironic to me that this information came out literally after your boy Clive Davis left the earth, okay? So with that being said, maybe you were trying to get in front of whatever is about to come out about him because trust me, I know that it is stories up the yin yang, baby, and people cannot wait to start yapping about everything that man has done to them. Baby, when the documentaries start dropping, baby, they are going to drop. Do you hear me? So that's where I'm thinking that this angle is coming from because there was no reason in the world that you felt like you had to tell us that information because to be honest, we didn't even ask. Now, we let you get away with it when you did that to MJ, but when it comes to our girl Whitney, baby, I think you should sit this one out. This ain't what you want.
What happened with MJ? What did she say about Michael Jackson? Like, man, I'm lost.
Whether it was a sound check or they was actually doing I can't remember exactly when she fell. But she was coming toward the front of the stage, and it's a drop off, and it's sort of like a dark spot there. So when she got to the edge, I think somebody told her, "What? Be careful, watch it." And then she went down. But so we got to her, but she got up. Matter of fact, she made fun about it.
What did she say when she was making fun about it?
She was just laughing. She said, "I didn't see that." She said, "I didn't even see that." I said, "That's obvious. You didn't see it."
Oprah had suggested that she had relapsed and the fall was due to her being high. Do you think that was the case?
No, I think the case was she didn't really know that stage. And when she walked out there, she stepped off of it, stepped off the end onto the next level. You know, that was the case. I don't know. I guess I did the same thing if I didn't, you know, because it was sort of dark
story about
right
the
there
situation.
where she stepped off at. From her point of view, she might have thought that she was. You know, I'm not downing nobody. I'm just saying that she wasn't. You know, I would know.
Do you think Oprah should apologize to Whitney's fans and to her family?
Only if she feel that way. Don't do it because somebody else. Be truthful about it. You know, you got to be truthful about it. You know, don't switch up or apologize if you don't really mean it. That's the way I stand on it. If you don't really mean it, go on with it. Because you know what?
You already did it.
Whitney's not here to rebuttal. She's not here. So that's, you never hear her telling me being on the interviews and talking to people too much. Because she's not here to back up what I say, or she's not here to rebuttal what I say. So why talk about it?
Yeah.
Just like that right there. Now, they say that she waited so many years before she said it. Well, why didn't you say it then?
Man.
She's dead. She's gone. My sister gone.
Thanks for the Jews, y'all.
Yeah.
So she can't say, no, I know that, no, I wasn't. You might think I was, but I was not. She can't say that. Whether it was a sound check
Somebody
or it
else
was
got to
actually...
say it for her. Somebody else got to say it for her.
When Oprah Winfrey called me up and she said, I got a call from your
like
brother
these Monique
and he wants to
skits. I ain't gonna
apologize
hold
to
you.
you, I said, I don't want anything to do with that cat. And then she said, well, if you want me to scratch the show, I will scratch it. I said, sis, don't scratch it because he could be a different person. I was like, I appreciate that, sister. Like, she didn't have to call me. I start seeing commercials with my mother. We never talked about my mother being there.
She never told you that.
And that woman didn't tell you that they were going to be
told
there.
you that.
How would you feel?
Betrayed.
That is exactly how I felt and how I feel. When Oprah Winfrey called, some people in my community said,
That's a wild situation right there to even deal with. Like, dang, Monique, you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. Stand strong. She been standing strong, though. Still funny, still outspoken.
Monique, you're the donkey of the day.
That was terrible,
from,
yeah.
Leonard. I won't call him Charlamagne.
I apologize, Monique, for giving you donkey of the day because once again, regardless of how I felt about the situation with you and Netflix, I had no business in your business and broadcasting your business, and it was Envy's idea to open the phone lines for people to comment on your business. Wasn't mine.
I apologize, Monique.
Okay.
When you have an icon like Whoopi Goldberg saying, I could have schooled you on what? How to work for free?
Right.
When we're so used to inequality.
Right.
It's like, how dare you speak up? Not only are you a woman, you're black. Not only are you black, you fat. So now you a black fat woman speaking up. You should just be glad we gave you a ticket to the party.
And it's like, no, the work speaks for itself.
The work speaks for itself. And for me, the reason why I will continue to speak loudly, I will continue to say the unfairness of Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels. I will continue to say it unapologetically because there's a little girl who's not here yet. Some people.
When Taraji P said it, everybody was listening. It's crazy, right? Cause even when the way Monique backed her husband and you know, and she is with her husband, like you have people speaking on that. It's like, man.
Oprah Winfrey was here and she was accepting the festival's Lion Heart Award. And during her acceptance, as she was on stage doing an interview, she said this, and it broke the internet. Watch.
Whitney did, I think it was her last show with us, and she had gone back on drugs. The first interview I did with her when we'd gone behind stage and I asked her about her attention.
She speaks so well.
But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not. And she fell off of the stage. And I knew that if that story got out that she'd fallen off of the stage, that everybody would be, that she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out because it would ruin her life, and they did not.
And what about...
That would not happen today, I can tell you.
Okay, a couple things there, and she's right. It would never happen in that day and time. But people are wondering.
He was looking
why
like, why are you telling
Oprah,
me this?
Even that. Well, they're denying the
up,
veracity of the story. First, the Houston family has denied it. Pat Houston said that Whitney did have issues, but this was not related to it. And the internet, and especially the community, Black folks, Whitney fans as well, of all different ethnicities, are wondering why Oprah shared that, and was it necessary for her to share? What do you think?
It's absolutely not necessary for her to share, and it's hurtful. And here's why.
Oprah Winfrey was here. She was accepting
They didn't want to hear
of our
about it.
lives, not having to picture Whitney Houston being that damn high to the point where she can't function. Like, we know that Whitney was a mess behind closed doors, and there were very few times we actually witnessed her being a mess. The one time she came on the stage on that award show and she was so doggone skinny, I think that picture that Kanye tried to use for an album cover that got out with her bathroom with all the drug paraphernalia, for the most part, we don't have many images in our minds of Whitney Houston being this bumbling, fumbling drug addict. And it's just like, Oprah, for you to now fill in the blanks and color in just how much of a dirty addict she was, I just don't know.
No, it was a joke. She speaks so well because the way she said it, you know, it's people out there that's going, wow, that was so nice of you. I'm glad you did that. You know, it's people that just fall for what she's doing because it's Oprah. And the way she said it, like she did a great deed. Like
that we needed this. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the flip side of things, y'all, I am a very fair person. I'm a very fair person. At least I like to think I am. And if I'm being perfectly honest, this is equally as much Oprah's business to share as it was Whitney's. All right. So I'm not necessarily mad at Oprah for sharing it because it's Oprah's business as well. And she has the right to share it. Bitch, she was there. It happened on her show. She was the one who, Oprah's a part of the story. She has the right to share it. It's equally as much her business. I just don't know why you shared it, Oprah. I don't know.
That's what I think I'm gonna have to go see.
I think that there was some other stuff you could have shared. I don't know.
I want to go see what led up to her sharing that moment right there, because we seen what led up to Monique saying what she said, but what led up to her saying that as to why did she say that?
You know what, Oprah? This is the reason why nobody fucks with your ass now. Because why would you tell us this? Why would you tell the whole world that bogus ass story about Whitney? Whitney gone on to glory back in 2012. It is 2026. 14 years. Babies that was born around the time Whitney passed away are starting high school this upcoming school year. And you're going to tell us this goddamn story. Let Whitney rest in peace. It's already a tragic story. Whitney's gone and her daughter's gone. It's already a tragedy. We don't need any more negativity associated with Whitney's name. That's why nobody want to fuck with your ass now, because you are such a petty, vindictive ass bitch.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Oprah. Go.
I think I like when people talk like this, because they like blatantly just say it. Like, what's up with us now? We don't do this that often. We try to sugarcoat it and skip around it, and it's like, nah, black women kind of be telling you how it is, and they gonna say it in a way that you really feel them.
Now, Oprah, I love you, girl, and I know people start getting old and spilling the tea, but personally, I feel like you could have just kept this to yourself, okay? You could have just kept this a secret for the rest of your life.
The first interview I did with her when we gone behind stage and I asked her about her attention, she was clean. But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not, and she fell off of the stage.
Bro, why no? They don't even talk about the Epstein's files no more, man. That shit is like the Iceman or something. It just seemed like they just kind of just disappeared. They just disappeared. They redacted, and then they just disappeared.
And I knew that if that story got out that she fallen off the stage,
everybody in them,
then she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out because it would ruin her life, and they did not.
Now, Oprah, you broke.
See, the way she said it, it was like trying to make it so believable, like she did a good deed, but she's telling everybody that Whitney was high and she fell.
Your own secret. This was your secret and you broke it. You could have held this down for forever. And also, Oprah, I'm starting not to believe you, because why would the people who have the video not show it? Or because you begged them not to? Anytime Whitney Houston was seen drugged up, that shit would be everywhere. I remember it. I was little, I was young. Well, I wasn't that little. I was like preteens to teenager. But I remember. So why would they listen to you? Oprah, this was not necessary, and I see why some people don't like you. I still like you, but you shouldn't have told this story.
Said Bobby is the greatest R&B singer ever. I remember that time. I still loved her. I don't give a damn. It was Whitney. She couldn't do no wrong.
And someone would say, what makes Oprah Winfrey different than any other woman walking the face of this earth other than her bank account? And because we get caught up in people's bank accounts, we believe they have all the answers.
Exactly.
And that night that Oprah Winfrey got up on that stage at the Golden Globes, hashtag Time's Up, I appreciated that emotional speech. But I want every black woman listening to answer this question if you can. Heather B., do you remember the time Oprah Winfrey went to the Image Awards and got up on stage and talked about equality for black women?
No, the NCAA.
The NCAA Image Awards. Do you remember that time?
No.
I didn't watch it, Mo.
Okay.
I was probably drinking.
Let me ask this, sweet baby. Do you remember a time when Oprah Winfrey came on the BET Awards and gave a speech about equality for women of color?
I can't recall enough to give a quote.
Okay, let me ask you, Sway. Did you see her on the Stellar Awards asking for equality?
I don't.
That's the Gospel Awards.
That's the Gospel.
Yeah, that's the Black Gospel Awards. Okay, I'm running it down because somebody probably saw her. Maybe one of your producers saw her at the Petty Pat Spades Championship game on 33rd and 7th, and she spoke for equality for black women.
The Stellar Awards. I'm like, no,
right.
I knew that one.
So the point I'm making is
that's deep.
that
That's
night
real.
it was a very emotional speech, but black women have to say, when do you speak up for us? See, hashtag Oprah Winfrey.
Dang.
And someone would say, what makes Oprah Winfrey different than any other?
That's crazy.
And let me be clear. I love that sister because she's our sister. She just got to come back across the street. We got the light on. When I speak about Oprah Winfrey, I speak about that woman because she's spoken about me. And when you begin to speak about me privately, I'm going to speak about you publicly. You've been unfair.
Dang.
You've been unjust. And you watched a black woman be thrown under the bus, and you said nothing. And here's what's interesting as well. My husband was saying to me, after I won the Oscar award, right? And she had the people come, to talk to the Oscar winners.
No more either.
And I go on the stage and I talk to the Oscar winners. Well, when we go to a commercial, the people in the audience, and I say this humbly, as my husband was telling me, he said, Mama, they wasn't screaming Oprah. They was screaming Monique. Right? So much so, I had to say, y'all gonna shut that shit up now. We get ready to go back on the air. We having fun, right? He said, but I watched Oprah. He said, and I watched her almost turn in her seat like they screaming her name. Now, some people will say, oh, Monique, you're reaching. Well, let me tell you what then happens. The movie The Butler, that movie was offered to me. Lee Daniels came out and said, I did offer Monique The Butler. But as he said to me, he said, Mo, at the time I didn't have no power and I didn't have no money. So when Oprah said she wanted it, so who played the lead role in The Butler?
I had to give it to her.
Oprah Winfrey. Lee Daniels was getting ready to do a biopic on Richard Pryor. and he offered me the grandmother. Who then calls Lee Daniels and says, I want to be the grandmother.
Wow.
So as you're
Yeah,
looking at
he's
me,
taking
it's
her
the same
parts.
way I'm looking at that sister. And I'm saying, why don't we sit down and have a conversation? Because the way things could look, it may not be that way, but just the way things look, Oprah. Just the way you would have my family on your show, Oprah.
One might say, Mo, well, I mean, if the role, if they're looking for a black,
Big, go ahead and say it. Shannon, it's so careful with his words. He want to say fat black woman. If the role looking for a fat black woman, Mo, but he was like, you know.
But I want to keep my podcast, Mo. Y'all ain't finna cancel me.
This why we love you, Uncle Shay Shay, because we want you to say it, a fat black woman. Now, me and Oprah fit the damn description, Shay. Fat black. Don't we fit it?
You do. But I'll be right back in the bed. I'll be your neighbor up there where you live at.
Listen here. So, are you lying?
No.
Now, I'm not going to have your big ass sitting here in the Hall of Fame and you scared to say shit.
Okay.
And I want to excuse myself for any of the babies that might be watching this, because I wasn't going to say no spicy things. But Shay Shay get me wrong now. Come on, Shay.
One might say, or people might say, well, Mo, I mean, the role calls for a heavy-set black woman. You, Oprah, y'all fit the role.
Yes.
How do we know that she wasn't offered the role along and people think that she's better, more qualified than you?
It don't work like that, Shannon. You can't offer me. Once you say, I want you.
Right.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I don't have the money to fund a production.
Right.
I don't have the connections to go to the studio and say, listen, I want to do this movie. She does. Right. So when Lee says, hey, baby, she got the money, go get it. But someone would just say, how is that working out like that? How is that happening like that? How is it that things that was offered to Monique, you seem to be playing? Now, I told Oprah about that. See, everything we're saying to you right now.
You was having a conversation with her.
She seemed like the
I don't
person
play the
to
behind
bring
the
it straight
back.
to you.
I don't play the I'ma share it with Shannon. There's one thing I will share with you that I've not shared with anybody.
Okay.
But I don't play the behind the back and all of that. I say, listen, let me try to get to you first. Now, if you avoid me, okay. But I tried to be respectful. I tried to call you first. When she had my family on her show, I tried to call you first. I tried to talk to you privately, but then you became the great, mighty Oprah Winfrey, and you were too busy to talk. Well, now I'm going to talk about it. This woman has overstepped with me in so many ways that somebody would say, if we wasn't Monique and Oprah Winfrey in the entertainment business, and we was Monique and Oprah Winfrey that worked at Costco, I see you in the break room. I see you.
Oh man, I love Monique, bro. She be spitting, you know. She just say it how it is.
Since you wants to bring up when Whitney Houston fell on her show, let's bring up the time when she fell on stage. Let's watch it a few more times. Yeah, tripping over nothing, or someone pushing her. You know what I'm saying? But the story that Oprah Winfrey brought up with Whitney Houston falling on her show, which did not need to be told because there's no evidence or proof of it, just reminds me of how the issue with Whitney. But Whitney Houston being so beloved and so cherished and so immortalized before she even passed away was the fact that she had an issue, and many people ignored it. Many people forget the fact that Whitney Houston did have an issue, and people allowed it to continue on and be yes men to her life when they should have been the ones to say, Whitney, you just stop, you need to calm and slow down. But people ignored it, allowed it to come on, allowed it to continue on. And then when it's called out, we're saying, you're lying, or you're making this up, or it's not that big of a deal. And Whitney had an issue then. And they try to point the blame at everyone else when she passed and say, oh, it was Bobby, it was this person, it was that person. It was like, no, you guys allowed her to be yes men to her. Because someone was getting the stuff for her. Someone was allowing her to spend her money and go broke. There was too much bad things going on in her life, and people were allowing it to continue on.
Look, I can understand that, but at the same time, when everybody around you doing it, like, everybody knows because everybody's doing it too.
To the point where she went through her demise. It's easy to be a yes man to someone like Whitney Houston because she's a diva. She was the one who was making the money, but then they were spending the money. She was broke when she passed away. And that was unfortunately sad, but you had too many people in her life allowing her to be an addict, and then to cover it up by saying you're being dramatic, it's a lie. But then we remember when we saw Wendy Williams crying and say she's still on drugs, people like, you're lying, you're a hater, you're this or you're that. And then we come to find out she was telling what she knew because she was an addict as well. And it's like, people allow that to continue on, and that's why when the story comes out and someone's like, it wasn't the drugs she was on, it was this, it was that, it was like, we're continuing on covering up the fact that Whitney Houston was an addict, and the addict, though, may not have been the reason why she fell or whatever, might be because it was too dark or whatever. Oprah did not need to tell that story, but at the same time, we cannot keep on trying to cover up the facts, and that's why she is where she is now, because people kept trying to cover up and say that we were crazy for knowing exactly what was going on.
Everybody knew.
Let's be clear about who we are dealing with. Okay, Oprah Winfrey is a reporter. Oprah Winfrey is media. She can hold a media training class with all her hands tied behind her back. Okay, Oprah knows exactly what she is doing when she sat up there on that stage and talked about Whitney Houston being high at her show, which is why she fell up on the stage. I have no problems with Oprah Winfrey. When folks were coming for Oprah, I stayed quiet. I stayed quiet because Oprah is that woman, okay? Love Oprah down. However, she has taken a tumble herself when it comes to inserting her mouth with her foot in her mouth. Don't you love when people just staring at you? Why do people stare at me? I don't know why. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe it's the hair. Anywho, trying to do my content. So,
yeah,
Oprah.
I don't think they was neither, because everybody knew it. You could see it. Like, well, you could see it, and you know her actions, the way she looked, things they were doing. She got real skinny. I don't know. It was just weird. But I think when it comes to a lot of the entertainers or these people, they be into those drugs. Like, I was just talking about that with my mom, like talking about like Studio 54. Like, they always used to talk about that back in the days that they was going to, and coke and everything all on the tables and stuff. And it's like, that's what they do. Look, more money, more drugs.
Why would she wait 14 years? Whitney Houston passed away February of 2012. We're in 2026. That is 14 years. Oprah waited. Of all the interviews Oprah has done with the Obamas, with, you know, the Clintons, and et cetera, and et cetera, she waits until this moment of time where Clive Davis passed away to talk about Whitney Houston being under the influence on her show, why she fell on stage. This was a moment nobody knew about. Nobody knew about this moment. Nobody. You know that meme of that coach, of that man who's snatching off those headphones in like disgust? That's what I was. That was the state that I was in when I heard what I heard coming out of Oprah Winfrey's mouth. I didn't even want to finish. I snatched all them headphones off of me. I did not want to hear her finishing that whole story, because I'm like, number one, no ma'am. Just because your ace boon coon passed away, Clive Davis, and we were roasting him, does not mean you come up on the first chance you get is to remind people that Whitney Houston fell off the wagon even when she was performing on your stage.
So
lady,
real. Viciousness is so real.
I do not know how much evidence or whatever they have on Oprah, but every time I turn around, Oprah is always taken up for some weird man, white man, Harvey Weinstein, Clive Davis. And I could have sworn she was trying to do some diverting or whatever when it comes to Epstein. You saw how she did with Diddy. So, you know, it's not all white men. It's just, you know, men in power Oprah, what the folk got on you, girl?
The Epstein files. The Clyde Davis files. I wonder what those look like.
Why, Oprah? Why? Why? Of all the examples you could put out there for how you trusted your audience, why did you have to bring up Whitney Houston? How long has it been since Whitney Houston has died? She was plagued in life, couldn't get a break from her family, couldn't get a break from the tabloids, couldn't get a break in her marriage, couldn't get a break, period. And now you wouldn't give her a break, she did. Why? Why did you need to bring that up? You're supposed to be this trusted figure. Celebrities are supposed to be able to, well, after you did that whole Michael Jackson interview, man, why would you do this to her family? To Bobby Brown? You know, why would you bring that up? Why was that necessary to bring up that she fell on stage, she relapsed and fell? What do you gain? You don't have enough money? You ain't have no other talk. I mean, you're a talk show host. You should be able to have so many topics on hand. Even if you were asked a direct question, you could have just said, I have respect for the dead and I will not talk about Whitney Houston. Because she wasn't just a celebrity. She was a friend. You knew her.
Everyone she came
Why would you embarrass her this
That's
way?
so true, bro.
You told the audience to keep it quiet. So what? You could talk about it how many years after she's passed? Wow. I mean, it's not like you need
That's why
relevancy.
everybody's speaking on it, because everybody loved Whitney.
I just can't even think what compelled you to put Whitney Houston's name on your mouth at a presentation. Damn, man. Like,
She got everybody hot.
Oprah said, you know, if I had children, I wouldn't have the success I have today. Wendy Williams said, women who are married and who have children, it slows their momentum. It affects their career. When you hear those things, what do you think?
I understand it because that's the shoes that they stand in. But the shoes I stand in, see, I have an older son that's 25. We have a very strained relationship because I followed all of the quote-unquote rules. I was at every event, at every party, everywhere you told me to be, but what I wasn't doing was nurturing my baby. So now at 25 years old, we can't really have those mommy and son talks because we really don't know each other. And I regret that. Well, the universe said, we're going to give you another shot. Do I think it slowed me down?
Thanks for liking the video.
It gave me what I needed, and that was the priority of what's most important. Because, see, when those women get to the end of their journey, who's going to be there when they're taking those last breaths? Will it be the business, or will it be the family that you wish for? Well, I had that family. It's not something I'm wishing for. I was given that. So I'm going to nurture that and take care of that. So however they want to swing their bat, swing.
Oprah said, you know, if I had children, I wouldn't have the success I have.
A lot of them don't be wanting to have kids because they think of their career and everything. But, like, what are you, like, building a legacy for if you don't have anybody to pass it off to? Like, you don't have no kids to even give it to go, here, I did this for you guys. And, you know, that's wild.
It's your boy.
Hey,
Ricky
Smiley.
I want to talk about something, a few things. We were having a conversation on the morning show this morning. And so, you know, on the news feed, when the news feed came up this morning during the morning show, it had came up a conversation about Oprah Winfrey and some things that she was saying about Whitney Houston. And how y'all doing? Good seeing y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Love you too. Happy Wednesday. What up from Cleveland and Colorado? I see y'all. Let me just, cause I don't want this live to be mean spirited, but this is my opinion, and I think I probably speak for 90% of Black America.
90%.
Oprah Winfrey was talking about something that happened on the set of her show during the taping of the Oprah Winfrey Show, where Oprah said that Whitney Houston was so high that she fell. And she said that she begged everybody not to report it or film or video that and put that out, this, that, and the other. And Pat Brown, if I'm not mistaken, not Pat Brown, Pat Houston, if I'm not mistaken, which is Whitney Houston's sister, responded. And, and said that it was dark and she fell. And I have to say that whether you believe Pat Houston or whether you believe Oprah, this is me. I don't care if she was high or not. Whitney Houston is dead and gone and passed away. And Whitney Houston meant a lot to us. Whitney Houston was a big sister to a lot of us. I never met her personally or whatever, but I felt like she was a big sister to me. And she is pretty much Black America's auntie. And everybody got a Whitney Houston in their family, somebody that they love, that's talented, that's outspoken or whatever. But it's something about Whitney Houston's death. It's something about Whitney Houston that we took her death personally. It's like somebody in our family died.
Oprah is the gatekeeper.
And it's hard for me to even make the live video because I get real emotional when it comes to Whitney Houston because, we don't care about none of that. And that was something that we didn't need to know. We didn't ask for that information. We didn't need to know that information. We don't care. Whitney Houston is somebody that you just don't talk about in the Black community if you're in touch. You don't talk about the Obamas. You don't talk about Whitney Houston. We sensitive about Michael Jackson. And you don't talk about the Kings. That's Black royalty that you just don't talk about. We don't play about Whitney Houston. I know I don't. Because I don't care what her downfall was. We all have downfall. We all have had things that we're struggling with. We all have people in our family that's struggling with addiction, and we have lost loved ones to addiction, whatever the case may be. But why would you bring stuff like that up? Why is it when it comes to you and Gail, right after Kobe Bryant died, Gail interviewed Lisa Leslie, if I'm not mistaken, was asking her about a sexual assault case that he was found innocent of. And the fact that y'all are so out of touch with the Black community and been rich so long that you don't even know not to talk about certain things a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
because
that's
if
crazy.
you was really sincere and genuine about people not filming that stuff, then you might as well have told them to film because you brought it up and aired it out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What does it matter? The only thing I can think about Whitney Houston is how I feel when she sung the Star Spangled Banner during the Super Bowl. How she made me feel when she sung with the Georgia Mass Choir, I love the Lord who heard my cry. How she made me feel when she sang, I go to the rock when the earth around me is sinking sand on Christ's solid rock I stand.
Song.
That's how she made me feel.
Every
inside.
song she sung.
The minute tears, that song meant so much.
Feel
that
it
song
in your chest.
was sung at my son's funeral. And Darlene McCoy did a good job singing it, man, but I swear I had Whitney Houston just in my spirit. And I just don't play when it comes to Whitney Houston. She is an aunt to us. She means a lot to the Black community. She is a treasure with Black folks. I remember being a freshman in college and the hit song was I Want to Dance with Somebody, and then it goes into the key change and how she sung that song. We absolutely love Whitney Houston. We love Whitney and Bobby. We laughed at her. We made jokes or whatever, but everybody have a Whitney Houston in their family, somebody that's struggling and dealing with something and just outside of the box or whatever. It might make you clutch your pearls every now and then, but you just absolutely love them. And Whitney Houston is not one to be talking about. We feel that way. Why? She's not here to defend herself. Why you just can't? And see, we got to always remember when we doing stuff like this, what are people going to say about you when you die? What are people going to say about you when they close that casket and when they lower you off into that cold grave? What are they going to say about you? What memory and legacy are you leaving? Yes, you gave away scholarships and did a lot of great things and had their own network and a lot of great things in the community, but you know, sometimes, man, stuff like that, it just really put a bad taste. And I swear I be giving chance after chance. I'm trying to convince myself, no, she don't. Oprah and Gayle, they don't hate men. You be mad for a minute, then you start back watching on and start trying to support and whatever call you see her at the opening of the Obama, like, oh, wow, there's Oprah after that died down. And then all of a sudden, when you start back feeling good and okay with Oprah, Gayle, or whatever that mean, then something else happened that just really just remind you all, like, why? Why? Nobody needed to know that about Whitney Houston. It's a lot of stuff that I could say that I've seen personally and that I know, but I know not to say it. And I don't think saying it is the right thing to do. And it's just all about being tone deaf.
Yeah, she had a special voice.
We talk about a lot of people, but Whitney Houston is somebody that we kind of don't like when people talk about Whitney Houston. We just don't like it. We love Whitney Houston. All you have to do is just go listen to the Bodyguard soundtrack and the songs that Whitney Houston put on there and remember how her voice is so spiritual and angelic. I wouldn't have gave a damn if she was a stripper, prostitute, crack, well, I don't care. None of that matters to me. But what I do know,
that's the truth. That's the truth.
Is Whitney Houston to put me to sleep many nights with tears in my eyes, and how she made me get in that car. I can't tell you how many praise breaks I had in the car listening to I Love the Rock and I Love the Lord Who Heard My Cry or whatever. And I felt like I was part of America when she sung the Star Spangled Banner. When Whitney Houston sang the Star Spangled Banner, that's the only version of it I really want to hear, because I felt like I was a part of this country. I felt like the country wasn't messed up like it is now. It's just something about her voice. And I'm kind of like that when it comes to Aretha Franklin, too. We don't play about Aretha Franklin. But, man, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. She was a beautiful soul. I hate that she died. I hate that Michael Jackson died. I know how I feel about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston gave a lot of us inspiration. A lot of us made Michael Jackson. My children was not born when Michael Jackson died. My twins and my granddaughter, all day they played Billie Jean, Beat It, and Thriller up there on that damn Alexa. All day, every day. They not playing no rappers. They not playing nothing else.
That's my son, my youngest. Like, he 13 now, and all he do is walk around singing Michael Jackson songs. Then he come to me, Dad, you heard this Michael Jackson song? Like, well, I know all of Michael Jackson. I ain't heard him. I know all of Michael Jackson's songs, son. And, but it's good, to watch you play them and, and sing the songs like I did. It's like that Michael Jackson was something else. But Whitney,
the only thing you hear from upstairs is Benny and the Jets by Elton John, and everything else, Michael Jackson. And wait till I turn them on to Whitney Houston. We haven't even got to Whitney Houston yet. I can't wait to play Whitney Houston for my twins.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to stop, but that's exactly what I was saying right there. See, oh, look how nice how Oprah is. Look what I did for Whitney. See how nice I was. I told everybody, put their phones up and don't record, erase those videos. Like,
But I just can't get them out of Michael Jackson right now. They obsessed with Michael Jackson. Just,
they love
Mike. Hey. Find something else to talk about. Find something else to talk about. Find somebody else to talk about. All these people, talk about all these Trump supporters. Talk about all these racist ass Trump supporters, or some of these damn black people that's supporting the Trump administration and all that stuff. Talk about them.
She's not gonna go.
Talk about all the men and the women that's out here molesting and raping children or whatever, and all these people that's doing stuff that they not helping in the community and feeding the homeless, and address hazing, address things that matter. How with Whitney Houston, it does not matter. Because guess what I can go and do right now? I can go and listen to I Love the Lord Who Heard My Cry, that was originally made from a hymn. And I can go listen, I go to the rock and get some strength to go out there in the world and deal with whatever I have to deal with. I never heard that song, but all I know Whitney Houston said in the song, when the earth around me is a sinking sand, on Christ, the solid rock. The fact that she said that and how it made me feel and it gave me strength and it came out of her mouth. Whitney Houston. Go find somebody else to talk about. I get it. You rich. You got on network. You know, we love you. Oprah Winfrey. Gail, we be trying to support y'all. But man, y'all be missing the mark on certain stuff. We be trying to say, we get mad at y'all when y'all say certain stuff that's uncomfortable and stuff that you did not have to say.
Weird
and we let
family
some time
member
go
that
by.
just always
and
doing
then
some
right when you
shit.
start feeling good. I felt good when I saw you at on television at the opening of the grand opening of the President Barack Obama's presidential library and museum. I said, oh wow, there's Oprah. Oh wow, there's Gail. And right when I started to feel better, because I was mad for a while, because I was real offended when Gail did what she did to Kobe Bryant, did to Vanessa Bryant right after the death of Kobe, because I thought she was really tone deaf and see y'all together or whatever. And I started to feel, right when I started to feel then, like, damn, come on, man. Come on.
Man.
Come on. Man, don't forget where y'all come from.
Ricky Smiley, icon too.
Please let Whitney Houston rest in peace. Some of the stuff she did was funny and was outside of the box. Yes, she was off the chain sometime at the BET Award. We don't care. We still love her. She means a lot to the black. I think I speak for 95% of black people when it comes to Whitney Houston. Rest in peace to Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston family. Rest in peace to her daughter that also passed away. And all the trials and tribulations that her entire family go through. We pray for health and strength for Bobby Brown. And we pray for Uncle Charlie. You know, we also want to offer our condolences to Peebo Bryson and his family. Everybody that's going through the grief process and suffering. Don't nobody want to hear nothing bad about their deceased loved one. Whitney Houston is our loved one. She is our cousin. She is our aunt. She is a mother figure to a lot of us. She's a big sister to a lot of us. That's how I saw it. I never met Whitney Houston.
100% of black people.
But Sherelle used to hang with Whitney Houston. Sherelle told me that her and Whitney Houston would drink wine and listen to my prank phone call CDs back in the day. And that made me feel good. And Van Jones told me the same thing about singer Prince, who I never got a chance to meet, but he was a fan of my work. And and Prince loved that bass guitar joke, that BET special. Man, don't talk about none of them. Let our artists rest in peace. And I sure hope y'all don't talk about my ass when I die. And we ain't gonna talk about you when you die. We're gonna let you rest in peace. We're gonna talk about Donald Trump ass when he go, and it might not be long the way he said the breathing and doing. We might talk about his ass when he gone, but everybody else we gonna leave him alone. Okay, God bless you, Oprah. Please. God bless you. We're going to give you one more chance. We're going to give you one more chance.
No, let's not.
It's just little old me. I ain't going to be able to take a dime out of your pocket. But I think I speak for the rest of the folks, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Somebody said there's so many things that we need to be doing. They're at war. Oh yeah. It's definitely a distraction. You know, somebody said, oh, shit, Bobby. Man, I'm finna go because y'all being stupid. All right, man, I love y'all, and ain't nothing you can do about it. All right, Oprah, we're going to give you one more chance now. Apologize to the people because we feel bad about that. You know what I'm saying? So, God bless y'all. I love y'all. Peace.
I want to see her explanation. What is her explanation going to be?
So, Oprah... Then you say towards the end of the snippet, I told everybody to put their phones down. If you recorded that, delete it right now because that's much I loved her. If you didn't share the story while she was alive, why are you saying it in her death? You also would have never told that story while she was alive because you know she would have pulled up on you because she don't play that. And she's from New Jersey. Her mother isn't here to defend her. Prissy isn't here to defend her. And you take it upon yourself to tell such a very private story because you thought it was a good idea to finally share this. This is very disappointing from you. If you're willing to tell this story now, today, in 2026, that means that you were never her friend or her sister or anything that is close to her. Somebody that knew a story like this would have never said anything like that, especially in a room full of people knowing that this is going to be recorded and it's going to get out. For the many times that you interviewed her and the many times that you talked highly of her, you thought this was a good idea right now to share this story. For me in my house, we would have took this straight to the grave and nobody would have never known this. So Oprah,
they should have never gave you ninjas money. I don't know. Oprah rich. She feel like she can do what she want.
Why is Oprah being so irksome? I don't know if Oprah should have said that about Whitney. On one hand, why can't we let Whitney rest? We all know what she was struggling with and what her demons were. Long and short, Oprah was telling a story. She was just recounting when Whitney relapsed. She was performing on Oprah's show. I think Oprah said it was like her last performance. And she relapsed and she was high and she fell off stage. And Oprah begged the audience. This was the part that was irksome and annoying. Like Oprah was doing a lot of virtue signaling and saying that she begged the audience, like, please don't take pictures of this or share this because this will ruin Whitney. So that's what it was. But you could tell it was a little glee in her eyes, like talking about it. It's very irksome. I can't believe I've lived long enough for Oprah to be as irksome as she is.
Man, I'm sorry, that got music. That's gone.
Child, the girls are eating Mother Oprah up, honey. And they are pissed that she is spilling backstage secrets on our revered Queen Mother, Whitney Houston, aka Nique. Let's talk about it. Now, if you're not following the Black Death Society, please make sure to do so. This is a space in which pop culture money and real life meet. Baby, the girls is eating Mother Oprah Winfrey up, and they want to know what was the reason that you needed to tell a story that nobody asked for about Houston. Basically, Oprah was in an interview and she disclosed that one time while performing on her show, Whitney Houston fell on stage and that she believes she fell because she was high. And that was the cause for the fall, and that Whitney begged the audience as well as Oprah not to show the footage because she felt that it would impact her career. And girls are pissed because they want to know from Oprah, what was the reason for you to tell that story now? Whitney been gone home to glory, so why are you telling that story now, and was it even necessary? I think that people, especially in the Black culture, are very protective of certain people, one of them being Whitney Houston, another person being Michael Jackson, and a lot of people feel that their legacies are often disrespected by things that happen in their life. And let's address the elephant in the room. Oprah, by you being a Black woman, a lot of people in the community, in the culture, would expect you to have a certain level of respect as well as understanding for Whitney and what she went through in her legacy. So people are not happy with Oprah. They're saying that this was something that could have stayed in the files. No one asked you for it. We all know that Nique, aka Whitney.
I didn't see that comment, but yeah, they be thinking they always think they found an MJ song you ain't heard your kids. My kids loving MJ right now. They love Michael Jackson.
Had her demons that she was certainly fighting while she was here, but let her rest in peace. Some people may feel the opposite. Oprah has certainly lived a life that has involved a lot of celebrities, and some people, on the contrary, may feel that she has a right to tell her story and things that she experienced and witnessed. I'm of the school that you should not talk negatively about the dead, and I'm also of the belief that certain things that you should let lie and let people's memories rest in peace, especially people who went through so much double hockey sticks when they were alive. But that's just me. But get down in the comments and sound off. Where do you stand on this? Do you think that Oprah should have just shut it? And I love me some Oprah now. Or do you think that she had a right to tell this story? Sound off in the comments. If you found value in this post, please make sure to like as well as share. Child, the girls are eating Mother Oprah up.
They going in.
I was there that day. All day. Both days.
Okay, yeah, this the auntie.
Both amazing days.
The hairstylist.
So how dare somebody come in and say anything different? So fair game. Since Pandora, you want to open the box? Let's talk about it. Let's not leave her legacy in some sort of way. When you put a but after the statement, as if she left that night, wasn't doing drugs, and then between the night she got there and the next morning to do that next interview, is 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. I blew me back. I said, oh, when you talk about her legacy and leaving her legacy strong, you know, just leave it alone, especially if it's not the truth. I listened to it several times to see, like, okay, I'm not trying to stir up any drama, but what I'm not going to do is let anybody sit there and say that she was high on drugs or anything, because she was not. She wanted to not have a glass of wine for somebody to say anything, like specifically for those 2 days, because she was giving you guys so much truth about herself. She didn't want to have nothing. She drinks her tea, she does her little stuff. For them to say that it would mess up her legacy, it disturbed me.
Whitney was on, but she never harmed anybody. You never heard her doing anything bad to anybody, no matter how much she was hurting herself.
You know, so I wanted to come on and say that I was with her that day. It was an amazing 2 days. Her telling her truth. You know how that feels to go in front of all these people that are watching you to tell your truth. And they've already been talking about you since we're opening up the box. Since she's saying that she fell because she was high is not the truth. She fell because they did not rope off the stage. They had a black tarp, demarcation of the stage and a tarp. And I was standing right there, and I swear to you, she fell like, whoa. And I ran, you know, everybody ran to get her. You know what I mean? And then she's so goofy. And when I say goofy, like fun loving, is so not hurt so bad, but hurt because why didn't you guys rope that off? Why didn't you guys say don't go any further than this right here? So then Oprah gets out and she tells everybody, don't show this, don't share this. She tells her staff she'll fire everybody if it gets out and this sort of thing. And, you know, NDAs and all that kind of stuff. But then you come and you say this, it's not the truth. She was not high, not one day, not neither day. And she hadn't been high like everybody had been saying.
Dang.
Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King had a lot to say about my auntie Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston
Is you cooking some fish?
was the shit. The way that she passed away was just so crazy. It's crazy how a lot of our musicians, whether they black, white, whatever, how they pass away. A lot of them have passed away from drugs. But it's something about Whitney's death that just don't brother.
Saying like a good show to go watch is Tales from the Tour Bus. And it shows like Rick James. It shows like the country singers. It shows like the drugs that they were doing like on their tour bus, or you know, they just tell different stories of them doing weird drugs, you know, acid and mushrooms and George Clinton talking about you know, crack and you know, the whole like it's the wildest thing, and you'd be like, dang,
and
man,
they just don't sit well.
drugged up.
There was a 911 caller that nobody knew who that person was. No, to this day, nobody knows who the person was that called 911 and said that Whitney Houston was in the tub at the hotel. I feel like we just left a lot of things out because we just let a lot of things go because we were like, okay, she was on drugs. We been knew the one was on drugs. Just like we knew Michael was on drugs. Everybody sitting up here acting like they didn't know. Look, I didn't know Prince was on drugs. But you can't tell me you ain't know Michael and Whitney was on drugs. But the thing about it is, she gone. So why are we still talking about it? It's unfortunate. Her daughter's gone, she's gone, and we still talking about it. Why, Oprah Winfrey, what you sitting up here worried about it for? You a billionaire. You sit up here tearing black women down. That's gone. Whatever she did, she already paid the piper. You know what I mean? It just irritates my spirit. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me finish.
It is trippy because, dang, yeah, Michael Jackson was on drugs. A lot of them, they be on drugs. Like we lost a lot of different, like we lost rappers, you know, whether they was white, black. We lost a lot of people that were in the industry from just drugs in general.
So Oprah decided to go to war and besmirch Whitney Houston's legacy. I think it's because the Clive Davis thing, when he passed away, everybody was talking about the messed up things he did to Whitney. The only thing is, there is a huge backlash against Oprah right now. And I was talking to my best take on this. She said, Oprah better hurry up and make a video about Gail washing her hair out. Gail better make a video of doing Oprah's hair and clipping her ends with sacred products, talking about she did it in honor of her great-great-granddaddy. Y'all, let's get into this. If you guys don't know, Oprah is being dragged online because of some comments that she made about Whitney Houston. I'm going to be real with y'all. I think those comments were to change the topic on Clive Davis's legacy, because everybody, since Clive Davis has died, I've heard two main themes. One, ding dong, the witch is dead. And also, I've heard that Clive, what the absolute horrible ways he treated Whitney, and even when Whitney passed away, the way he kept his party going while Whitney was upstairs OD'd in her tub. People said it was some of the most cold-blooded mess that they've ever seen. And it really speaks to the evilness of the music industry and the way people do self-destruct because they are looked at as a commodity. Anyway, Oprah came out and out the blue wanted to talk about the way Whitney Houston was so high one day she fell off the stage. I thought that was a really interesting thing to say about basically one of your peers, and also somebody that, as far as the community, I think the world and a lot of dictators loved, respected, and honored Whitney Houston's memory. Again, it was weird. Story to tell, but you can argue that it was, in fact, Oprah's story to tell. So do y'all know what I'm talking about? Hold on, let me pull up the clip so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I got the clip. Here's what Oprah said. Hold on really quick. Where's she at?
We did the whole, hey, greeting thing. And then I stopped the cameras. And I went behind stage and I said, so tell me, what do you want? What do you want to happen here? And I'm going to tell you what I want to happen here. And that was one of the most powerful interviews. Do you all know this is an amazing thing that happened? I had such trust from the Oprah show audience that Whitney did, I think it was her last show with us. And she had gone back on drugs.
Okay,
the first interview I did with her when we gone behind stage and I asked her about her attention. She was sitting behind stage and I said, so tell me,
hold on.
Story to tell. So do y'all know what I'm talking about? Hold on, let me pull up the clip so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I got the clip. Here's what Oprah said. Hold on really quick. Where's she at?
We did the whole, hey, greeting thing. And then I stopped the cameras. And I went behind stage and I said, so tell me, what do you want? What do you want to happen here? And I'm going to tell you what I want to happen here. And that was one of the most powerful interviews. Do you all know this is an amazing thing that happened? I had such trust from the Oprah show audience that Whitney did, I think it was her last show with us. And she had gone back on drugs. The first interview I did with her when we gone behind stage and I asked her about her attention.
She literally said that she went
the day she came to my show there to perform in front of the audience. She was not. And she fell off of the stage. And I knew that if that story got out that she fell off the stage, that everybody would be, that she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures.
So Oprah decided.
But that's weird because, okay, if that happened, she could even made it seem like, okay, well, you know, I didn't want them to do it because, you know, they would think that she was on drugs because, you know, if they put the fall out there. So, Oprah, what the hell?
Can we talk about this for a second? Because ever since Clive Davis died, social media has been absolutely dragging him. And then almost immediately, Oprah comes out saying she believes Whitney Houston was high when she appeared on her show in 2009. Now, Whitney's estate fired back right away and said that's not what happened. They said Whitney fell during a sound check because the stage was dark, and then rejected the idea that any of this happened and she was under the influence. She wasn't. And multiple people have said she wasn't that day, including her bodyguard. And here's where I give my opinion. The timing is very, very interesting. It seems like Clive Davis, her handler, she's getting upset that the internet's dragging him, okay? And the internet was focused on Clive Davis, and people were talking about the power he had and the artists that he worked with and the way the music industry operated for decades. And then suddenly the conversation shifts back to Whitney. Again, Oprah did that on purpose, okay? I have no evidence of that, but I believe she did. I'm saying, in my opinion, it's interesting that we're talking about Whitney's struggles again, instead of continuing the conversation about the executives and how many people and artists that struggled financially from the system that they built. Why is that not the topic, Oprah? Whether you're talking about Whitney Houston or Prince fighting for the ownership of his music, or Michael Jackson's battles over the business side of his career, or many other artists that had the industry issues, you have to look at that. The bigger question is this. Why do so many legendary artists leave behind stories of financial struggles, ownership battles, or exploitation, while so many of these executives behind the scenes accumulate extraordinary wealth? Like Clive Davis, he passed away with $850 million. That's the conversation we should be having. So Oprah, hop off. I've never been a friend of yours. I never will. But what do you guys think? The timing is a coincidence, or do you see it differently?
Never been a friend
Can
of
we
yours,
talk about this?
Woman says, let me apologize to you publicly. It'll be to the day I leave this earth, because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Heart on blast during her recent Club Shay Shay interview because Kevin allegedly went behind her to help Oprah ruin her career. Now, we've known about the beef between Monique and Oprah for years, especially how Oprah derailed Monique's career and used her for ratings. But it seems like things were much worse than we thought because Monique shared some shocking little details about what really went down between them. And one of the things she revealed was that Kevin Hart was a backstabber and a betrayer because he was talking to Monique like he was down for her, but behind her back, Kevin was moving like the weapon fashioned against Monique's career. Chile, it's a hot mess, so let's get into it. Baby, when Cat Williams said 2024 is the year of truths, he was speaking from a deep, deep place because this year it's been one bombshell interview after the other. The latest in the earth-shattering interview series is Monique's bombshell interview with Shannon Sharpe, where she dragged Kevin Hart, Oprah, and Tyler Perry for ruining her career and not even trying to make it right. The Kevin Hart part.
Woman says, let me apologize to you.
I ain't trying to apologize.
Yeah, when I said like,
that's just wow, bro. Oprah is something else, but I'm sorry, I gotta go. You know, like if y'all can hear, look, I'm gonna turn my microphone all the way up. My neighbors, I think they having a quinceañera or something. They got the Spanish music blasting. They talking loud. They be big chilling, but I gotta go, and thanks for watching. Thanks for the new people that was here, and yeah, I'll see you next time. I'm about to end this one right there. I'm just going, ain't nothing to say. Everybody already said it. Everybody already said it. Y'all said it in the comments. They said it in the videos. That was enough. Ain't no use of prolonging it.